What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out one of the latest mid-range devices from Samsung. The one that we have here today is called the Samsung Galaxy A54. This is a mid-range device that's about half the price of the Samsung Galaxy S23. The S23 is basically Samsung's flagship for this year. Now, I would say let's start by checking out what comes in the box. So this is the box right here, but in the box you're not gonna find much. You basically find this booklet and this cable. This is a USB-C to a USB-C cable. So there is no charger that comes in the box and you're basically gonna have to buy your own charger. Now the device does support 25 watt fast charging. I'm not even sure if we can call that fast charging, but it does support 25 watt charging. It does not support wireless charging. And inside the device we also have a 5000 milliamp hour battery. So charging this device from 0 to 100 will take about an hour and a half. So a bit longer than it would take on the Samsung Galaxy S23. That one also supports 25 watt charging. Alright, so taking a super quick look at the device itself, and of course we are starting with a screen. So this is a 6.4 inches Amoled screen that has a 1080p resolution and a brightness of 1000 nits. I actually took the phone outside just before this video because I wanted to see if I can actually see the screen in direct sunlight, and yes, you can clearly see the screen in direct sunlight. Now, you've probably noticed by now that we have fairly large bezels around the screen, mostly when compared to the Samsung Galaxy S23. But I guess for a mid-range device, that's what we get. We also have that front-facing camera right there. The front-facing camera is able to record videos in 4K. However, I noticed that every time I have the resolution set to 4K, there is no video stabilization. So if we go to settings here, there is no video stabilization. So the same kind of goes for the rear cameras as well. So no video stabilization for 4K recordings. However, the main camera on the back of the device does have optical image stabilization. So we'll have to see how that looks in a future video. The back of the device here does seem to be made out of glass, so this sounds like glass in my opinion, but the frame around the device here seems to be made out of plastic. I was actually expecting the frame would be made out of a different material, so it kind of sounds like plastic. I guess it could be metal, but hard to tell unless I actually scratch the frame. But it does sound a bit like plastic. At the top here we have the slot for the SIM card, and believe it or not, with this device you can actually use an external SD card. So yes, you can install an SD card with this. Now my unit here has 256 gigs of internal storage and we also have 8 gigs of RAM, and the device is powered by the Exynos 1380, so we don't get a Snapdragon CPU with this device. Now, since we are talking about the CPU, let me open the AnTuTu benchmark here. So these are the speeds that you're gonna get for the internal storage. So I do have the version of 256 gigs of internal storage. If we go back here, this is the score that we get on the AnTuTu benchmarks. So definitely not the highest score out there. And I was expecting the score would be a bit higher because the phone is not really that affordable, I'm gonna say. It is a fairly expensive phone in my opinion. And if we open the Geekbench 6 here, took a little while for this to run, but we basically get a multi-core score of about 2849 and a single core score of 1007. So not bad numbers, I'm gonna say, even though I was expecting a bit higher numbers, taking in consideration the price of the device. So going back to the back, so on the back there we have the main camera. That's a 50 megapixel sensor that has optical image stabilization, as I mentioned earlier. Then we have an ultra wide camera, that's a 12 megapixel sensor, and then we have a 5 megapixel macro lens. I would have preferred to have a telephoto lens, but that's what we get. So these are a few pictures that I took around the house here. So I didn't actually take the phone outside, it just showed up today, but I wanted to show you some example pictures. So far they do look good, but we'll have to see how the device performs in different situations, different light and so on. The device also has two speakers, so one speaker at the bottom here and the second speaker at the top there. And I guess next I'm gonna play a short recording just so you can hear how those two speakers sound like. So as you've heard for yourself, the speakers do sound quite good on this device. I can probably say they sound on par with the Samsung Galaxy S23. One thing I forgot to mention is the fact that we do have an in-screen fingerprint scanner. Now, this is definitely not the fastest fingerprint scanner out there. I feel that the one on the Samsung Galaxy S23 is about twice quicker. But yes, we do have an in-screen fingerprint scanner as well. So there you have it. This was a super quick look at the Samsung Galaxy A54, one of the latest mid-range devices from Samsung. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.